Imagine healing your 13-plus-year-old chronic pain in one session. But I'm getting ahead of myself in this story. So let's take a step back for a moment. Imagine pouring years into your career, tying your whole identity to your job, and then losing it all in one instant. That's what happened to Shwati. She was on autopilot, grinding through life until everything came to a halt. No job, no direction, just uncertainty. But instead of letting it define her, she took control of her life. What if I told you that stacking win after win didn't start with luck, talent, or hard work in her case, but with one random online post just like this? But that's exactly what happened to Shwati. She wasn't looking for a life changing opportunity. In fact, she barely even used social media. But one day, she logged in, saw a post, and made a split second decision. And that moment set off a chain reaction that changed everything, including healing her 13-plus-year-old chronic pain. I will let you hear her story directly.
Well, at the end of the session, you told me both the reason why the pain was there, and then we also healed the pain, which was amazing because I hadn't been pain free in a very long time. In fact, I wasn't even sure, like, I couldn't even comprehend how that could have happened. Like, in one session, how the pain that I had for so many years, how could it like just disappear like with a magic wand. And that night I never spend any time on any social media because I basically I live in my own sort of little bubble that I don't have time for all these things. But then what ended up happening was I was in my role at Twitter, and I was laid off.
Hi, Shwati. I am super happy that you're here. And so you have a bunch of wins that you've just been like stacking up. Like it's been like one win on top of another, right? Like since we started working, and there are like seven major wins that we are going to talk about today, and I'm super excited. So let's start at the beginning. Before you joined the cohort, how did we meet? What helped you? What made you, or what made you curious to like check out the cohort? How did that start? And anything else you wanna just like give some context to?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Shami, I'm so excited to be here as well. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, so we met I believe, in February of 2023. It was honestly, um, I would have been never so open-minded about meeting like some random stranger over the internet, but that's how we met on Twitter, or X. Now it's called X. And usually I never go on any social media platforms, or I never spend any time on any social media because I live in my own sort of little bubble that I don't have time for all these things. But then what ended up happening was I was in my role at Twitter, and I was laid off, and I suddenly had so much of free time in my day that I was trying to keep myself busy. And I've been in this like this little hamster moving around in the round and round in the hamster wheel in this busy sort of a thing. And suddenly it's like the wheel broke, and now this hamster has no wheel, and I'm just so clueless about what I should be doing with all my time during the day. So that's when, in like one random interaction, I guess it was a tweet from you on Twitter, wherein you were talking about an upcoming cohort. So that kind of interested me, and that's when I sent you a direct message on Twitter, and then we jumped on a like a quick alignment call about, and then you explained to me what the cohort was about and the time commitment and things like that, and that's how we met.
Yeah, I still remember that. This was the first. That was the first time knew that Shwati as a person existed, because it wasn't like we were interacting with each other on tweets. the other people who joined the cohort, I kind of knew at least of them, if not everything about them. So it was very interesting to be like, as soon as, and you might not have known this, that was the week of me announcing the cohort. And so as soon as I put it out, it actually got filled in like, it got filled up 90% like in 24 hours. And you were one of those people. And I was like, what? I have no idea where these people are coming from. So that was my side of the experience. And so when we were chatting, one of my first questions was like, hey, like, how did you find me? Have you been like following along but never commented, or like what was happening? And you were like, no, I randomly logged in, and today I saw this message and I got curious. And that was a very pleasant experience on my end as well. And I remember our alignment call and how in like 15 minutes, I think we spoke for 25, 30 minutes. But at the end of it, you were like, no, I was already made up. I made up my mind in the first 15 minutes. I was like, okay, this is great. So that's how we met. And then we went through the cohort. And I enjoyed the cohort very much. I enjoyed working with every single one of you. And so from the cohort, how did we move on to the long-term work? What were you? What place were you in? What were your challenges at the time? Or like, were you just curious about like, hey, I just want to explore energy as a dimension? It could be any one of those things. So I'm curious to know how from the cohort, we ended up going into like, we are working together on a long-term container.
Yes. So when we had the cohort, I had already found a job for myself. So I was into my full-time employment, and although when we had the alignment call, I was kind of still struggling, trying to figure out what is it that I should do. I'm feeling so lost. And then, like I said, I was having so much of time, like free time on my hand. Plus, I had tied in like my identity so strongly to my job and my position. And I was like moving through all of those things on one hand, and on the other hand, I was also going through multiple rounds of interviews and then getting rejections and all these things. But then by the time we went into the cohort, I was kind of settled in my full-time role. And I honestly didn't have any like expectations, or I should say I was like completely curious and open-minded about what the cohort would offer me. Yeah.
Okay, so you joined the cohort, and then from the cohort, you then ended up joining like a long-term energy mastery coaching relationship with me. And how did that happen? And I know you kind of wanted to have a first session, but I'll let you explain or like share that experience. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, at the end of the session, you told me both the reason why the pain was there, and then we also healed the pain, which was amazing because I hadn't been pain free in a very long time. In fact, I wasn't even sure, like, I couldn't even comprehend how that could have happened. Like in one session, how the pain that I had for so many years, how could it like just disappear like with a magic wand? And that night,
Swati took a leap, one random decision that changed everything. But what happened next? Something she never expected, a shift so powerful it erased 13 years of pain in just one session.